The story of modern Jamaican music starts in the early 1950s in the poorer areas of downtown Kingston with the emergence of a uniquely Jamaican phenomenon, still at the heart of the music 50 years later, the sound system. The sound system is essentially a street discotheque with speakers big enough to raise a family in. It's where poor Jamaicans have been coming to dance till they drop ever since they stopped listening to jazz bands in the now ruined clubs all over the island.
You had sound system before recording. You have first it started, the Jamaica music started off with orchestra dance. But when the sound system came in, they replaced the musician because people used to hire these bands to play, but the musician used to stop and eat a lot of cargo, so it burned up a lot of time until, you know.
Band would go in intermission, and intermission forever. So the people got to get fed up of this no dance for them to dance. So in the intermission, they made a mistake. They agreed that the first sound system should play in the intermission. That was the end of them. I never turned back. It was all about rhythm and blues.
As the 1950s rolled on, the music of Fats Domino, Ray Charles and Louis Jordan was streaming into the island from Southern American radio stations just over 90 miles away. And with the sound systems blasting it out most nights of the week, downtown Kingston went dance crazy. And like any craze, it was rich with opportunity.
People used to make money from it. You sell your own beer and you sell your own curry goat and rice, and you got the sounding system from 8 o'clock till like 6 in the morning, and they eating and dancing in the street. You get like 2,000–3,000 people, and you make a buck.
Sound systems became the biggest local industry in downtown Kingston, and competition was fierce. To pull in the punters, you had to have the best music blasting out of your system. The race was on for the hottest American tunes.
He's the Ricky sensation.
You know, American people, they need cheap labor, so they bring the cut them cane and things. But while you're there cutting cane, if you buy rhythm and blues, 6 times more money you get because you're going to sell it back to sound system people. So everybody anxious to go to the farmer, but not for cut cane. They want to go buy some record, you know?
Out of this fierce competition, 2 giants emerged, Clement Coxon-Dodd and Arthur Duke Reid. Combining their liquor businesses with their sound system dances, they were effectively the barons of downtown Kingston and would continue to control the Jamaican music business for the next 15 years.
They could run the country those days because people, anywhere the sound string up, you have the crowd of people there before. They used to play in competition. It come in now like Joe Fraser and Holly.
Duke is a man who go on this dance and him go to the gate and him get everybody out of the gate money for coming on and dance, you know? And the people they believe all the cocks and dance and come on a Duke Reid. Sometimes them just take the money and go to the cocks and dance just the same, you know what I mean? So it's like that. So all of them used to be at war, you know? The sound system thing, man. It's a traditional thing. You can't stop it. It come from way back, you know? Come on.
Yes, suddenly rum is served to sophisticates, because suddenly Jamaican rum has regained its place among the great drinks of the world.
Duke Reid had a rum there when it don't sell in the stores. If you think rum is strong, you ask about rude to your parents. When you throw water, you know what happened? Yes. Throw chasing it, what do you think happened? Smoke. The smoke, vapors thing, right? And that is what the brother might drink. Like they have cocaine now, that was for them cocaine. So after Duke Reid, give them 2 drinks of root to your parents and send them go cocks and dance. The dance done. People are jump fence to get out the fast.
we start imitating the rhythm and blues songs like say Smiley Lewis or Professor Longear or Louis Jordan, and those kind of beat. We try to imitate it. It didn't turn out that way, so we decided to keep this as our own type. That's how that can come in.
Styling like those was really rhythm and blues. What we did to this rhythm and blues is like you'd be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this kind of we change it to 1, 2, 3. And then it's more 2, 4, 2, 4 instead of 1.
Last night, Papa coming down, he stood across the door. Mama said, no, Papa, you're real gone down. Easy slopping, easy slopping, easy slopping, but baby, why you jumped and tried?
It is Jamaica's first musical revolution. And we call it ska. And then ska was a dirty word. But what it was terribly influenced by Jamaican activities of the people, Culture of Jamaica was pushed into it. And when the people took it on that fast, right, they just grabbed to it because it was them.
This is the way of life of the lower class people. We haven't got anything else. What else we have? I mean, the middle class or the upper class can buy a ticket and go to Miami or somewhere like that. That's all you have. You don't know anything else.
By 1964, Jamaican record entrepreneur Chris Blackwell was convinced he could get a UK hit with a ska record. He had the right singer in Millie Small, so he brought over Ernest Ranglin to London to provide the spark.
In my house, it was more on the blues spot. You was listening to a couple of blue beat tunes and stuff like that, And then the biggest breakthrough was when, Millie Smalls came out with My Boy Lollipop, and I think that changed everybody.
Yes, this is ska, original and indigenous. These instruments are playing a monotonic grassroots rhythm. This beat
As uptown Jamaica and the rest of the world joyously accepted ska, downtown the music and the mood were changing.
The ska was upbeat. It expressed how the spirit of the people was. And then after, people start to observe and say, oh, this independence, I'm not really independent. What's going on? The music slowed down. Let's rock it steady and see what's going on. Slow down. Poverty breeds crime. You wake up in the morning and you don't know where the next meal is coming from. All kind of things start going through your mind.
For if it's rough, he's against the world.
By 1966, downtown Kingston was a lawless place. This was the era of the so-called rude boys, the ruthless gangsters who terrorized the nation.
And the rude boys are coming a dance, man. No care you dress in a three-piece suit. Them guys that change things, them just come in our shorts and no shirt and hard turn up back way, and the girls flock them and them just do so. That's how Rocksteady name did come in, you know. And the DJ have to play when he reach, he say, cry tough with Alton Ellis, and anything you can do, I can do it better. I am the toughest. And them throw a box of beer in the air and it mash.
This guy come to me and said, his name Busby, he was a rude boy. When I say rude, I mean rude, because he would travel with gun and he travel with knife, and he would take any buckle and cut you, anything. Come to me one day and say, boy, I hear everybody I sing rude boy, cry tough and 07 and them guys, I want you to make one of me. You just want to boost me, and I want it by Friday. And so I said, okay, I'll make you a song, sir.
Strong like lion, we are iron, rude is no fear.
Busby listen, and say, play it back. And so when we reach strong like lion, we are and just take out two of the beer and throw it against the wall and crash it and say, iron. Everybody get in panic now, you know, because they're afraid of him, because they know him, what he can do from what he won't do. The whole night is the one song, it coming like the dance stop.
Rude is no fear.
I don't know if he didn't like the song, what he would do. But anyhow, he did love it.
Boys, rude is no fear. Rougher than rough, tougher than tough.
But he didn't love it for long. He didn't love the song for long because he lose his life the following day. And we just cut out the rude boy songs, and say, well, if it going to cause eruption, just leave it there.
All I need from you is a good conversation.
As things hotted up downtown, people sang, and most of them escaped into old-fashioned boy meets girl love songs. This was Rocksteady, Jamaica's first pop music, the era of singers who replaced the largely instrumental ska, and for many it was the most glorious phase in Jamaican music.
Never felt this way before. I know there is some way today.
It all came from the American R&B music, you know, because we're always being influenced by the impressions, all them soul R&B groups.
Love your sister, love your brothers.
We would listen to a Dionne Warwick song and try to sing it exactly as Dionne did it. If you are a group, you would try to study the Supremes, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. If there was a group who comes from abroad to our shores, we would want to go and see them because they have something to teach us.
It's a cultural thing for Jamaicans to sing. In the ghetto, you'll find more singers than anywhere else too, because, you know, it's a thing that, you know, it's a thing we used to, it's what we could use to pass the time away. It's a thing you use to soothe your spirit, your soul, you know.
Can't compare with. Have been touched by an angel. This heaven and earth could be no hell. I've been touched by an angel. She's on the progressive chart, always work for where she want. With enough confidence and never yet says she can't. Tender love, you know she have. Healing the broken heart from she coming on my life. Me no stop advance, rearrange my lonely life and turn it right from start. Now I'm happy with this woman and we will never part. Me know she clever and she smart. I've been touched by an angel.
Most of us, we only wanted to hear our voices on the record. To see people, to hear it on the radio, is a dream come true. To see people dancing and singing to your record for the first time is another matter completely.
There was no thought of any money or anything else more than honesty, sincerity, and purity. And that is what I think that music is full of. That, you know, that is why it's lasting so long.